Yes, people, what's going on, man? We're back with another video, man. Listen, make sure that you're subscribing to the channel, like the video, leave the comments as always, people. Like I said, I'm always in there interacting with you lot. And we got there, man. I kept saying road to 2K. We smashed 2K after the last live stream that we did with CB, Nina, and Lewis. Very, very good conversation that we had there, man. With different characters, different takes, different personalities. But if you haven't watched that one, I'd recommend that you go and watch it. You know what I mean? But today, I thought, let me do a little one-to-one, man. It's been a while since I last did one. I think the last one that I did actually was when we announced Maresca as our new manager. And I spoke about him at great length. I spoke about what a lot of the players that he's managed have said about him. I spoke about what I think he's going to bring to the team. I spoke about how Leicester were playing. I spoke about Dewsbury Hall. If you guys remember, I said Dewsbury Hall is one player to look out for. And I said he's definitely going to get a big move. This was even before we were linked to Chelsea. Because there's this little narrative that's floating about that I just like any player that Chelsea are linked to, which is far from the truth. Far from the truth. Right now, we're linked to Omarodian. I don't want this guy. I've spoken about him already. I don't think he's ready to be playing for Chelsea right now. He's not much of an upgrade for me on Jackson. I think overall, in terms of his movement, I think he's better than Jackson. He seems more like a natural striker. But in terms of the link-up play, him on the ball, he doesn't really look convincing to me. And again, in front of goal as well, it doesn't really look like much of an upgrade in comparison to Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Gil actually looks better than him and he's younger than him. So if we're going to go bring a striker, go bring me someone that's more guaranteed to bag us goals. Go bring me a Tony then. Go bring me a Solanke. But this Omarodian stuff, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? But end of the day, we've got good scouts now. Yeah. If I like the profile players that they're looking to sign, that's not my problem. Yeah. Don't try to get onto me and say I'm just being biased because I'm a Chelsea fan. Because a lot of these guys, even if they were linked to another club and I watch them, I'll be saying the exact same thing. It's got nothing to do with my Chelsea bias. You know what I mean? I like what I like. And lucky for me, my owners and my sporting directors, they like technical players. That's the sort of players. They're the sort of players that I like and are drawn to. Technical players with a lot of natural ability. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into a lot of the things that have been going on. Obviously, England won last night. Cole Palmer coming on in the 81st minute and getting that assist for Ollie Watkins. And I'm seeing a lot of people trying to discredit it, saying, yeah, but anyone can make that pass. It wasn't the hardest pass. Listen, you don't need to have a world-class assist every single time. Yeah, that was just the basics of the game. But there's so many times I'm seeing the likes of Foden, the likes of Jude getting in positions where they can create for the attacker, create for Kane, and they're not doing it. You know, one thing about Palmer that I like about him, I've spoken about this from last season, is he creates some good chances for the attackers. And that pass was perfect. The weight of pass was perfect. It allowed Watkins to take it the way he did and just shoot, you know. And that's when you know you've got a talented player. When a player gives you the ball in a certain way, which allows the attacker to take it in a certain way, that goes to show that they're a good player. You know what I mean? Because they're actually thinking for the attacker and saying, yo, I'm going to give you a good chance to make sure that you bury it. You know what I mean? And that weight of pass was perfect for Watkins. Again, I'm not saying it was world-class assist, but it was a good chance to give to Watkins. And again, we were going and win the game, man. And for me, Cole Palmer, he's got to start, man. He's got to start for England. I don't know why he keeps persisting with Foden. I love Foden, but he's not a creator. He's not a creator. Cole Palmer got an assist yesterday, and he's got more assists than Foden all Euros. The guy's not creating nothing. Chelsea right now, I'm saying Chelsea now, England right now have a massive creativity issue, which Foden's not really helping with. You know? Last game, he was good in the first half in terms of linking up with Mainu and doing all of that, the tiki-taka stuff, keeping the ball. But where's the end product? You're there to link the midfield and the attack, and you're not doing it enough. You know what I mean? So end of the day, bring him off the bench. But for me, I'd actually start him with Palmer. I'd start Foden in the right half space. Then I'd start in the left half space. Then I'd start Palmer in the right half space so he can play with Saka. Because I think he's actually got a good relationship with Saka. I think he can actually replicate what Odegaard does for Arsenal with Saka. Because Odegaard and Saka have a really good relationship. And most of Arsenal's play comes from the right-hand side, similar to Chelsea. Because Cole Palmer was playing centrally and linking up with Madueke, linking up with Gusto, linking up with Reece James when he had a few games of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really seeing that relationship with Foden. Foden's more about getting the ball in the half space, driving at his man, tick-a-tacker, keeping the ball. But in terms of creating, I don't look at him as that go-to creator. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I would start Palmer in it. You know what I mean? But if he comes off the bench, just please give him enough minutes. Don't be bringing him on where he's got 5 minutes to try and do something and then he's getting slandered after. What did he even do? What did he even do? You know what I'm saying? But it's good, man. It's good that we're in the final again. Hopefully these lot learn from last time. Hopefully we don't go to penalties again, because I can't be dealing with that. And if we go up first, please, bro, do not sit back like what you did against Italy. Trust your team. Trust your team. I know Spain are good, but please just trust your team, because we have good players as well. You know what I'm saying? We've got winners in this team. We've got leaders in this team. You know what I'm saying? We've got experience in this team. Got a blend of everything that you need right now to go and win this tournament. So let's go and bring it, man. Let's go bring it back home. You know what I mean? But Cole Palmer, listen, nice assist. And Ollie Watkins, amazing finish. Amazing finish, man. Because it wasn't long ago this guy was playing non-league. And now he's scoring in the Euros to send his club, send his country to the final. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But on to Chelsea now, man. This is Maresca'S first week now at Chelsea. It's actually nice seeing the boys back, you know, seeing so many players that some of us even forget about, bro. Some of these guys, I'm like, yo, this guy plays for Chelsea? Lavia, Fofana, Reese, you know what I mean? All these, man, I'm looking at them and thinking, bro, these men are looking like new signings, you know? They're looking like new signings right now. Yeah, and we need to keep these men fit, because like I keep telling you lot, we will not kick on. We will not kick on if we can't keep our main players fit. As much as I think our squad, even without these guys, is good enough to get top 4, because the depth and the quality in the squad, we need these men in order to challenge and try and actually get over the line when it comes to finals and semi-finals and all of these things, because these are top players that we've got. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's really refreshing to, again, see these guys back, because, listen, as much as I like watching England and that, and watching you know, the Euros and stuff, there's no love like my love for Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? There's no love like the love that you've got for your club. Do you know what I mean? And this week we had Maresca having his interview, which got released by Chelsea. And there's a few things that I want to speak about in terms of what he said in the interview. And one of the things that he said, I'm very excited. One of the reasons I'm here is because I'm convinced the squad is very good and full of talent. The most important thing now is we're able to create the right culture that drives us for the season. I always say the same. If you are able to improve players, then you are able to improve the team. So it's our target to try and improve all of them day by day. And listen, me hearing that is music to my ears. That is music to my ears, because you guys know my thoughts on Poch. I don't want to go into Poch too much because I've spoken about him 1,000,001 times. Good riddance to that brother, and good luck to whatever club takes him as their manager next. Yeah. But one thing that I kept speaking about with Poch last season is this guy does not know how to work with our team. And he's warped a lot of people's minds into thinking that our players are worse than what they are. Very similar to what Southgate does with England, making Foden look like a bad player, making Kane look like a bad player, you know, making Saka look average, you know, making all these players look bad because of the system and how they're being set up, how he's playing people in positions where they're not comfortable. Same principle as Poch, playing Levi out of position, playing Gallagher every single game, playing Enzo as a box crasher, as the second striker, playing Ben Chilwell left wing. All of these things, I can keep going on about it. You know what I mean? And I kept telling people, I say, yo, I know these men are not world beaters and that, but listen, they are not as bad as this. And Maresca's spot on when he says there's a lot of quality in the squad, because there is a lot of quality in the squad to be working with. And I've said before, even before we sacked Poch, I said, bro, there's a lot of managers right now in world football that will look at our squad and will be excited to work with them. You know, the likes of Palmer, Enzo, Caicedo right now as well. Unbelievable performances for Copa America. I've been watching his games. I've been staying up late trying to catch his games, and he has impressed me a lot. A lot. Yeah, he's basically carried on doing what he was doing for Chelsea towards the end of the season. Yeah, and against Argentina, he even played as a 10. I'm seeing him creating, I'm seeing him tackling, I'm seeing him bossing Caicedo, McAllister and Enzo in the midfield. Yeah. So I'm glad that he's actually, you know, picked up form at the right time, because it's going to be very, very key for us in the system. You know, I can definitely see him playing a similar way to how Ndidi played for Leicester last season, where he had KDH left half space, and then he had Ndidi in the right half space pressing from the front. I can definitely see that for Caicedo, because I've already said to you guys, for me, Caicedo's best position is as a box-to-box. And that's the position that he was playing in Ecuador before he came to Brighton. And then De Zerbi used him in a double pivot. You know what I mean? But for me, I can definitely see the traits that he's got. And he will definitely work in a box-to-box. And that's the role that he was playing when Poch decided to invert Cucurella. He's playing further up. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see him. So, and then he follows it up by saying that I already feel I know all of them, to be honest, because I've watched so many of their games in their last 2 or 3 weeks. So I feel that I know all of them. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that has clearly watched the team and understands what these guys need. You know, and that's actually one of the main reasons why they gave him the job, because they spoke about the fact that he came with so much research around the players, so much data around the players, and even the youth team as well. And that's one of the reasons why both the sporting directors are like, yo, this guy is not a joke, man. He's not a joke, man. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I really like as well, listening to the training videos and whatnot that came out, Tosin was being asked a few questions after, and he spoke about it. He said, listen, it's only day 2, but the amount of detail, the amount of perfection that this guy is looking for in each pass, in each touch, you can clearly see that it's very detail orientated. And that's what I said to you guys before in the video that I did welcoming Maresca. I spoke about how Dewsbury Hall spoke about him, and he said that he's so clear on a lot of the things that he does and very detail orientated. Same sort of thing as Harry Winks, same sort of thing as Snodgrass. They all said that this is going to be a top coach and he's going to go to the top, because of how much detail he puts into things. And it was very clear to me to see when I was watching Leicester's games back, the goals that they scored, when they're on the ball, they shape off the ball. You can clearly see that these guys are all well drilled, very, very well drilled. You know what I mean? So for me, people that are still sleeping on this guy, take time, because we haven't hired a joke, man. There's a few intangibles in there about the pressure of managing Chelsea. If he's not getting the results, how's he going to react to it? There's always that, there's always going to be that that skepticism in the back of people's mind. But for me, I just feel like this manager is actually going to be able to get the basics together and get the team ticking. It doesn't take long for a good coach to be able to put a good team together. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take Glasner long, more than a season, to go and have Palace battering Man United 4-0. I know United were bad, but you still got to go out there and do a job. Do a job on them, because a lot of teams struggled against them in certain games, and they'll scam a win. But Palace, they battered them because of how they were set up by Glasner and how attacking he is. And that's one thing about Maresca that I really like. He's an attacking-minded manager. And off the ball, like I said, he keeps a very good, compact shape. So I'm looking forward to the season. 100% I'm looking forward to the season. Do you know what I'm saying? And then just one thing he speaks about here, it says, that it's a club that has to win. So for us, we're going to try our best to be there, to fight and compete with the clubs that are in this moment winning and fighting to win titles. He's not out here selling people dreams. He's not saying, yes, we're definitely going to win this year. Doing things that Poch was saying in terms of Chelsea need to win now. Chelsea need to win now. No. We know that we want to win. When we get to our final things, we want to win. Every single trophy that we're in, every single tournament that we're in, we want to go and win that trophy. But end of the day, he's being realistic and saying, we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves at a level where we can actually compete. And competing and playing well consistently, it will generate better results. It will definitely generate better results, So I'm liking what Maresca is saying so far. What I'm saying? I'm not going to, get gassed and, I'm happy and that. No, I'm just optimistic. I'm coy at the minute. What I'm saying? I'm coy at the minute because I just don't see how he comes into this team right now and fails to work with these players that he's got. I can't even lie. After watching this guy, it'll just mean that Chelsea are cursed. It will honestly mean that Chelsea are cursed. You know what I'm saying? Because this guy comes from Pep school, and everyone knows that managers that come from Pep, they play a similar style of football. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to be seeing at Chelsea. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And you know what? I spoke about it earlier in the video. I said, I like the fact that the club are now taking steps in the right direction to try and rectify a lot of the mistakes that they made. And last season, we know that we struggled with a lot of injuries. So many injuries, week after week. This guy drops. This guy injured in training. This guy's taking precautions. We played Spurs and we beat them with 14 injuries, which was crazy. Crazy. When I spoke about it, I said, listen, I think Poch is actually injuring these guys with his intense methods. And after he got sacked, it all came out that they were worried about how he was using the players in training and rushing people back. But he was too stubborn to change things. But I said, it's not just on Poch. I spoke about the medical team as well. I said, clearly these men are not good enough because there's too many injuries to be happening for me to just be looking at the manager. It's got to come from upstairs as well. And one thing that they've done, they've completely changed the medical team now. I don't know who these guys are, in all honesty, but to me, that shows that they have been able to actually see that there's a clear problem with the medical team and they're trying to rectify it by bringing new people in who they believe will be able to do a better job than the last guys. So we just have to hope. We have to hope that they know what they're doing and bringing in the right guys as a fan. And on top of that, like I said to you guys before, Maresca's style of play is possession-based. So I don't think you're going to be seeing as many injuries as what you were last year because you're not overworking these guys. Like I said to you lot, Tosin was just speaking about it. They've done a few running drills and whatnot on fitness, but most of what they've done so far has been with the ball. You know, you can always get injured in drills with the ball and whatnot, and you know, in matches, but it minimizes the risk of injury. You know what I'm saying, man? Like I said to you lot, the theme: if we keep getting people injured, we will never kick on. We will never kick on. So I'm excited to see how this new medical team get on, because, like I said, it's really, really unacceptable the amount of injuries we kept getting. Us and United, it was shocking. It was shocking. You know, so I'm happy now that they've actually, you know, decided to move on the old medical team, and now they've actually got a bunch of new people who hopefully should be able to do a better job. You know what I'm saying? And listen, we had some sad news this week about Rio Ngumoha, who's decided to move on from Chelsea and go on to Liverpool. Listen, I like what I've seen from this guy. Funny enough, I was actually watching a few of his games a few weeks back on Wirescout just to see what we're working with this guy, because I've been hearing things about him. He's actually from similar sort of area, from like to me, he's from Newham as well. So say, yeah, this is a guy from the ends. Let's see what he can do. You know, he looks really good on the ball, man. He's a left winger, very tidy on it. You know what I'm saying? He likes to take on his man. He likes to run at his man. And you guys know how much I love wingers that do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he can actually play centrally as well. His decision-making ain't the best, in all honesty. Like, he's always trying to run at people, but he's only 15. You know, that's going to come with age. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, yeah, this is going to be a guy that hopefully we should hold on to, because we know what happened with Musiala. But unfortunately, he's decided to move on to Liverpool. And it looks like they're looking to break their wage structure to bring him in. That goes to show how much they rate him. But unfortunately, you've still got a few Chelsea fans trying to do this fake outrage thing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to speak about, this is what these new owners are on. They just want to flip people for profit. They just want to move people on. And I'm like, bro, have you been living under a rock to be talking about the youth the academy like this? Have you forgotten how bad it was under Roman? How most of these guys would never get opportunities. And if it wasn't for the transfer ban, Lord knows where Reece James would be right now. Lord knows where Mason would be right now. Mason Mount would not be at United right now if it wasn't for that transfer ban. Tomori at AC Milan right now. So many years I used to speak about the youth team. So many players that we could have played in the first team. Musonda, Jeremy Boga. You even had Izzy Brown at the time. Yeah, Christensen, he was good in the academy, but he obviously got opportunities in the first team as well. Nathan Ake didn't really get many opportunities as well. You know, there's so many names I can go through, you know. And there's only a few that actually made it into the first team. The likes of John Terry. McEachran had a good little spell in the first team as well. Nathaniel Chalobah was in and around the first team, didn't really do much. Solanke, Ola Aina, Izzy Brown, all of these men were all around the first team, but they weren't being played. And we all know how Roman used to treat these guys. Send these guys to Vitesse, you know, send them out on 65 loans and then sell them for peanuts. And then before you know it, they're 26, 27, going to meaty clubs because they haven't been developed properly. They haven't been treated correctly. Yeah, Lucas Piazon, he's another one as well. That was highly, highly rated at the time. I remember I used to buy him on FIFA all the time because his potential was so high. Before you know it, 8, 9 loans, the guy's getting shifted. I don't even know where he is now. I don't even know if he's still playing football. You know what I mean? So there's always been a problem with bringing players through at Chelsea. Yeah, the pathway has always been a problem under Roman. Yeah, and at the minute, for me, I think it's a little bit even easier right now to try break through to the first team, because these owners love young players. They love young players, and they tried their best to keep Rio. Same way they gave Tyreek George a new contract. They tried their best to keep Rio. But unfortunately, Rio's head has obviously been turned by the money and the fact that he thinks it will be it'll be easier for him to move on and go get those minutes at Liverpool. Listen, hopefully Rio does well. Listen, Liverpool are my ops, but for him, I hope he has a good career. You know what I mean? But I don't want people to try and use this as a stick to beat up the owners with, because end of the day, like I've said, if Rio wasn't at Chelsea, he's definitely the sort of player that these owners would be looking to bring in. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek George wasn't at Chelsea. He's the sort of young player they'll be looking to bring in. You know, Levi Colwill, he's another one from the academy that they've said is untouchable. But people are trying to create this narrative because of their hate for the owners, that they have no balance. They have no critical thinking. It's just hate on these owners. They can't do anything good, so they have to try to slander them as much as they can. You know, and for me, like I said, they tried everything they could for Rio. He's decided to move on. It is where it is. You know what I'm saying? We've got Kendry Payers, we've got Esteval, all of these guys coming in. You know, so it is where it is, man. But listen, good luck to him. Good luck to him, man, because he looks like a top talent. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to finish off on Renato Veiga, because this is a player that I literally had no idea who this guy was before we signed him. We just got an exclusive from Fabrizio. Here we go straight away. No links, no connections, so I couldn't even watch him on Wirescout. You know what I'm saying? So obviously when that drop happened, I said, yeah, let me go watch this guy's games and see what he's like. And listen, I've watched a lot of his games back from last season. I can see exactly why we've signed him, man, in terms of the profile. Most of the games that I've seen, in all honesty, he's mainly been played at left centre-back, and he was mainly played as a DM. But on the ball, you can clearly see that he's comfortable in it. Got a good balance about him on the ball. Very, very good left foot. It reminds me of Levi Cole, the way he just wraps his foot around the ball. You know, he's 6'3" as well. Adds a bit of height into the team, which is something that we lacked quite a lot last year, man. Because you guys know, last year, week after week after week, I kept saying, any set piece against Chelsea, a free kick, a corner, it's basically like giving a penalty away. Because our team just don't know how to time their headers. They don't know how to position themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're shorter than everyone else. So it's good that we've actually added a little bit more height, a little bit more grit, because we've got the new set piece coach coming in now. So we've got Tosin now 6'5" or 6'4". You've got Badiashile quite tall. Fofana's back, he's quite tall. And you've got Veiga 6'3" as well, who's quite tall as well. So definitely it's really good. Disasi's another one. If he doesn't get sold, he's quite tall. So it's really good to see, man. There's certain times in midfield, though. That's one thing about him in midfield. Like, he does like to defend. That's one thing about him, but he can be quite rash. When I was watching a lot of the games back when he was playing in midfield, he was diving into a lot of tackles, man, which I wasn't really liking. You know, there's certain times where he just looks quite flat-footed as well because he's quite big, quite clunky. That's why, for me, I'd prefer to play him at the back. Because every time I was seeing him at the back, he was reading the game a lot better. You know, one-on-one in terms of his when he's defending one-on-one as well, he looks quite good. He looks like he can defend his wide areas. Hence why Chelsea are saying he can actually play at left back as well. You know, so Veiga, again, I didn't know much about this guy. I've watched his games back, and for me, he looks like a good player. But for now, Cucurella's still number one. Yeah, right now, unless we go and bring an upgrade on Cucurella, he has to start for me. But if Veiga was to come in, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned at the minute. We'll have to see how he gets on in the league. But the fact is, you know, he was the guy that they brought in to replace Calafiori at Basel. You know, and Calafiori, look where he's about to go Arsenal now. Do you know what I mean? So I keep telling people this is the summer to be a little bit more open-minded because we need to be shrewd in our business. Football is falling off. At the end of the day, we have good scouts. Whether people like it or not, we have good scouts. These scouts did not bring Mudryk. Mudryk was brought in by Todd Bowley and these guys, yeah, before they came in. And I've told people already, if the sporting directors were here, they would have never signed Mudryk because his experience did not warrant a move to Chelsea. And if you actually watch this guy week in, week out, instead of just clips that you were seeing on YouTube, you would have probably seen the same stuff that you've seen at Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But majority of the guys that they've signed, the likes of Jackson, Petrovic, Gusto, all these guys are good. Yeah, they're good enough to be in the squad or they're good enough to start. You know, and a lot of these guys, we didn't even know much about them. So for me, I want the scouts to earn their money. Just like back in the day. Yeah, where we used to hear about names that we've never heard of and then all of a sudden they're being signed. It's not just about big names. Just because you're not known doesn't mean that you're not a good player. And that's what a lot of people fail to understand. Do you know what I'm saying? But like I said, people, listen, I'm optimistic about the season, man. I can't lie. I'm silently optimistic about it. When people are going back and forth, Chelsea are going to finish 10th, Chelsea are going to finish here, you ain't going to do nothing. I'm like, cool. Listen, I'm not going back and forth with you lot because I don't need your validation. You know what I'm saying? I've done my research in Maresca. That's your beef that you don't know about the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's your problem. And if you're that close-minded that just because you don't know about him, it must mean that he's shit, then, boy, I don't know what to tell you because this guy was part of a treble-winning side. This is a guy that was part of a changing room with the likes of Conte and Zidane. This is a guy that's highly, highly spoken about, just like Arteta was when he was making his name. You know, but the good thing about Maresca, he's actually got he's actually got experience of managing and getting a club promoted. Who were on their knees. Leicester were on their knees before they brought him in. They were bad. We beat them 3-1. I remember that season we finished 12th. I was there at that game. They were bad. So he had to rebuild and start again. And that's something that he was able to do. So for me, I could definitely see him doing that at Chelsea. I've said already my expectations for him, top 4 minimum and compete for all the trophies. And the fact that we're in the Conference League now as well, make sure you go and win that, please. Make sure you go and win that, please. I know it's a piss take, but might as well just complete the set. You know what I'm saying? But people, like I said, 2K, we've hit that now. I'm definitely going to do like a live call-in at some point. I've just been busy with work and stuff. That's why I thought, let me just do a little video today, speaking to you guys one-on-one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. Let me know how you're feeling about the season. Let me know how you're feeling about some of the players. Who is it that you're interested in? Who you're really looking at this year? to do a thing for us, just let me know. Let me know, people, man. But yeah, love for watching, man. And like I said, up the Chels every single time, man. Love.